My grandfather, he came to Rockford. He was about 14 years old, and his father was rather high up in a little machine company, iron company in Norrköping, Sweden. And my grandfather played the drums, and he made the big mistake of marching in a May Day parade. If you are up and coming, your father's somewhat important in a company, you did not march in a May Day parade. And as a result, he left, he ran away. And he joined the British Merchant Marines at the age of 14, and he sailed the world. He was the boy at the top of the masts, and actually there were storms, and the ships would be back and forth, and he literally touched the waves. He ended up in London. He was in a seaman's home, and he stuck his money in the wall instead of his sock like they did, and he got knifed, and they ended up stuffing rags up into his wound so he survived that. He ended up in the United States, and he ended up in the South, and if you didn't have so much money, they were putting you on chain gangs, and then he ended up in Rockford.
What makes a community special? What gives its value? How do you measure its worth? Is it the many tourist attractions? The countless restaurants? Or is it the rich history of people who helped build it? Rockford is a community that's built on heritage, and we value our history. When you dig deep into our community, you'll find deep pride in its heritage and our connection to Sweden. Because of that connection, Rockford is a thriving community built on a spirit of hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality.
I had an uncle, an aunt. They came from Lidköping in Sweden. He came to Sweden in '57 and for a visit, and I had been going with a girl over there, but it wasn't the right one. So I asked him if he could help me if I came over to America and get a job. I had learned in Alingsås, my hometown, to do upholstery. I could not speak any English, and so it was tough to begin with. I tease and say I knew 3 things. And what was that? Well, it was yes, no, and shut up. That's all I knew. That's the beginning of my life, and we settled here in Rockford because we brought greetings to a family here in Rockford from Sweden, from the man's brother, so that was a minister in Göteborg, and that's how we made a connection on a Sunday afternoon. And Gösta worked for an Erik Pettersson, and he had an upholstery shop down on Broadway, right by the railroad tracks there, and he needed another guy. And so we talked to Erik, and he hired me, and that's how I came to Rockford in 1961. Well, the Swedish people are hard workers, and I think a lot of that, if you look around, a lot of that you see here in this town.
I lived in Sweden for over 20 years. A wonderful man brought me here to Rockford. I was on my way back to California, where my family's from, and just happened to make a pit stop, but decided to stay here. I had no idea there were so many Swedes in this community, but I was very happy because now I feel like I can contribute, having lived there for so many years. When I first came to Rockford, I didn't find any good coffee houses. For one thing, living in Sweden, you get really good coffee, and just about anywhere in Europe. So when I moved over here, I saw the potential in the downtown area, and I purchased this building, and I thought this would make a great bakery or cafe. But the community here has been very helpful. They've been very supportive, especially my Swedish friends have been, they come here all the time. And I came here as a foreigner, basically. I moved from Sweden directly to Rockford, and In the 5 years that I've been here, I've seen some amazing changes. I see the changes of people's attitudes, that they want this community to be a better place, and that's exciting to me.
Well, the time they eat porridge, they have little stocking hats and woolen shoes and a long beard.
Heritage to me means sacrifice. It's a sacrifice that our grandparents, my grandparents, made for their family. In the 40s, to get a job on 7th Street, you had to know Swedish. Here it was, think of World War II, everything happening. Everybody still had to know Swedish to work in the stores. The clubs, the singing societies, all these things help preserve the traditions. The impact that this immigration had on a community and the growth of Rockford. Maintaining these traditions reminds us and links these people together, and the fact that we have a responsibility to continue to ensure the development of our city. Our community is important. It is a mark of who we are, and the more that we do for our community, the better we all are.
Behind every great community is the people. The people of Rockford are what makes this place great. People full of ideas and dreams that make Rockford, Illinois, a great destination.